Good morning. Once again, it's time for another installment of Your Life Matters with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor Counseling and Dr. Beth Speaks. And Dr. Beth joins us once again in studio on a Monday. Doctor, how are we today?
I'm good on this vernal equinox. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. We're so close to enjoying spring after an interesting winter for sure. And we're in the middle of a series of shows talking about Lent, which is the time of year we're in right now. So we're headed to show 3. What are we talking today?
Okay, and this one is about almsgiving and charity. That's of the traditional practices. We have abstinence and fasting, almsgiving and charity, and then prayer or meditation. So today it's almsgiving and charity. And so, again, we get out of habits. We try to be generous people, and then we stop, or we think we are, and we don't go far enough. And so when we're not practicing the things that we should practice for each other and for ourselves, then we get emotionally upset. Our mental health can suffer. Our physical health can suffer. It can affect our sleep, our eating habits, those kinds of things. So now, one of the things I think is interesting that we always want to pay attention to are the words. Almsgiving is synonymous, means like charity. And charity for a while felt like something negative, like it's a charity case or whatever. But charity actually means that you want what's best for the other person. So if I'm going to be charitable to another person, I want them to be able to get what's good for them. It might not be what's good for me, but it is good for them, so I want them to have it. So consciously or unconsciously, though, even though we might be saying that, we sometimes do things that will raise our status. Like we make a big show about, I've given a lot of money to this charity or to a church or to a donation. Or it makes us feel important at work. Or it earns points with that someone special, that will think we're cool.
Right.
So true charity means that we do it even when, and especially when no one knows. When our motives are as pure as possible, there's no reward, and there is even possibly, there might be a little bit of a negative outcome. Like you might be ostracized. Somebody might say, you did that. Ugh,
right. We
got to be willing to risk that. Now, when we think of almsgiving and charity, usually we start with money. Easy enough, right? If we've got some extra money, or even if we give a little bit out of what we would use and we do without, that's very charitable, and that's very good. And if we turn it in, give it, and there's very little connection to the organization. Another one is acts of service. Now that involves time and talent. And so there's a lot more involvement there. And I'm thinking of like some people I know who go on mission trips and build homes or re-roof things.
A little more reward there for... Right.
And it does often, it compromises at work and people have things to say. But a real challenge is charity in our thoughts and behaviors toward each other. I'm reading a book and it was just talking about we should interpret people's thoughts and words, actions to us in the kindest way possible. Now, that doesn't mean we want to be doormats, but we have to understand that they might be coming from another place. And so that considers, now from a mental health perspective, that considers that they might have a different position than us. It makes us not the center of the universe. It's not all about us. It allows us to clarify and reflect before responding. So our relationships are better, we're calmer, we're more peaceful because we didn't have to get all worked up about it.
Exactly.
It's a two-way street, this charity and almsgiving, because our lives matter.
Absolutely right. Plenty of good resources on this topic and all the things that we've discussed in this series and all of our shows. Find it all at safeharboril.com. You can call Safe Harbor Counseling at 630-466-8657. Find Dr. Beth Plachetka and Safe Harbor Counseling on Facebook as well. As it's Your Life Matters every week at the same time with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor Counseling and Dr. Beth Speaks.